Now, do you want to get rid of mites for good, and I mean for good, then this is going to be the vlog you're going to want to watch. But yeah, man, welcome back to the Snake Trap Sessions. I am so excited to be back. Now, do you want to get rid of mites for good, and I mean for good, then this is going to be the vlog you're going to want to watch. What is good, everybody? I'm your boy MJ up in the building. Welcome back to another episode of the Trap Vlogs. Let's take care of this real quick. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, then select all. You'll be a part of every single piece of content I drop here on this channel. Just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the love and support. Anybody who just gives this channel a view, I just want to say thank you, because this is my passion. And I just want to be very upfront and very transparent as far as what happens here in this room. And mites, holy shit, mites are being talked about again? Well, of course, because there's new people coming into the hobby, there's new people getting taken advantage of, and plain and simple, no matter what you want to say about it, mites is just a part of this hobby. It's a part of this industry. At some point, you are going to have to deal with mites. So it's better to go ahead and deal with them as soon as possible. That way you know what to do in case it happens. Nothing to freak out about. This is definitely something you don't want to keep happening within a collection. Mites currently popping up in a collection is not a good thing. And there's usually a reason behind it. So what I'm doing on today's vlog is I'm going to show you my process, my steps on what I do anytime I were to find a mite. Not found a mite in this brand new Trap 2.0, and we're gonna keep it that way, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna keep it that way. How to get rid of mites is a simple process. I'm gonna show you what it takes to get rid of the mites, but you gotta follow this process to the T. I do wanna say shout out to Brian Cusco. Brian Cusco's video was one of the very first videos I ever saw. Whenever it came down for me to have to learn about mites and dealing with them, Brian Cusco's video is the one I watched on his steps to the T. Now, mind you, he does say in his video, you need to follow these steps to a T, and that's gonna be the exact same thing on this vlog. Now, if you wanna check out Brian's video, link to his channel is in the description below, and I just wanna say thank you, Brian Cusco. You're my dog. Always a true fan of your work, and just happy to call you my good friend. Now, moving forward, like I said, I'm gonna let you know exactly what it is that I do step by step whenever it comes down to me having to get rid of mites. Now, like I said, if you repeat these steps and you don't miss any of these steps and you follow it to a T, you too should never have to worry about dealing with mites ever again. And I'm also gonna tell you why I think it is that people have to deal with mites from time to time. We'll get into all that, but first and foremost, we're gonna get down to, I had a feeling there was a cage open. Oh. God forbid she's not out. And by the way, I have not had a snake escape for a long time either. But I have my Papuan olive that's in one of my freedom breeder racks that I just put in there temporarily while I cleaned her vision cage. So why don't we check out my Papuan olive, okay? Before we kind of get into the mite situation, and actually, to be fair, this is a snake that I had to cure mites off of, okay? And now mind you, this was when I first got her, okay? Because when you deal with imports, you're gonna deal with mites. That's a fact. But this girl is so prime time. She's definitely one of my favorite snakes. Definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, big snake. But we're gonna check out my Papuan olive python, okay? These things are no joke and basically like king of the castle. They will eat your snake.
Message!
Guaranteed, they're cannibals. Let's pull up this bad girl, man. She's no joke. And she's hungry, so she's gonna act like a little, you know, snippy and bitey, but she's normally not like that, okay? She's just hungry and she wants to eat. So, all right, let's check out this beautiful Papuan olive python that I'm very glad did not escape. Even this scares me. I don't like this either. That scares me, okay? But yeah, she's in here. See? She's acting very rambunctious. I know, you want to eat. But, you know, the Trap fam wants to check you out, okay? All right, so, see, she really means time. She means business right now, man. Hi. All right, so here is, this is gonna be hard to deal with one hand because she was acting snippy, but now maybe now that she knows that there's no food, she's gonna be cool. Oh, come on. Come on, mamas. I don't think I could do this with one hand, and I'm not even trying to play like that. So what I'll do is I'm gonna set this right here. All right. All right. Homie, don't play that shit. I'm not playing that game, all right? So, you know, I mean, like I said, not the end of the world if she were to bite me, but you don't want to get bit by this snake. She's like I said, she's just smart. She's just hungry. She's. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. All right, here we go, guys. Look at this girl, man. She has gotten so big. And when I got her, she was little. She was a yearling. She was not this, you know, big at all. Woo! Hope you guys can see the iridescence on this snake. This snake is no joke. Woo! Nothing but light beer for you. All right, let's get her in there, and we'll go ahead and just check this girl out. And I'm gonna kind of let you guys see what it is to look for in case you might think a snake has mites. Because I'll show you exactly the signs that these snakes show you anytime they have mites. All right, so let's get this girl. Oh my God, you're heavy, dude. Bro, she's so heavy. Oh, this is all for you guys too. All right, so like I said, I've had to cure this snake with mites throughout 3 years ago, okay? And she was a pain in the ass. Like, it was something where they kept coming back on her, okay? And what I'm about to tell you works for all snakes too, okay? So anyone out there, I know I have a lot of ball python homies in the house, but dude, ball pythons are not shit compared to having to cure mites on a snake like this or like a scrub python. Maybe it's the scalation, I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, you don't want mites on a snake like this because they are super hard to get rid of. And the process we're gonna go through today is something you gotta repeat over and over and over again. But yeah, I love this snake, man. I'm just happy she's doing really well. You know, other than the mites, she was really a easy snake to establish and get going. Now her male, way different story. Her future baby daddy definitely was another Pop One Olive that I got in from an importer that was covered in mites. The tip of his tail was missing. He had parasites inside of him. Oh man, I didn't think that guy was gonna make it. You can even check him out. He just shed again. He just shed recently, but yeah, definitely different ball game compared to her. But even so, you know, after a while, I became very like almost obsessed on looking for mites because I just wanted to make sure they were never gonna come back. And you just don't, like I said, you don't want mites in your room. Something you just don't want. So one of the things to look for is if, let's see if we can zoom in here. Perfect. All right. So we're getting a good shot of her scalation right here. So you can see her scales. Notice none of the scales are raised, okay? One of the signs on any snake, especially a snake with scalations like this, is you'll see like a scale, like almost pop up. Like they're almost raised. There should be no raised scales, as you guys are seeing here. And she's creeping up on me. All right. I'm just showing the people your beautiful, beautiful body here. But yes, just something to look for, guys. Look for the scalation. Scalations tell you a lot. Also, an animal that soaks constantly. Like, yeah, I get that some snakes like to soak, but a snake that is always soaking, sign of mites more likely, okay? So let's get there right now. Well, okay, hold on. Okay, so I was gonna use her as the mite example snake, but no, we're gonna go her future baby daddy, because this was the fool. He is, well, I don't even wanna say this was the last snake I had to treat mites on, but he's one of the most recent snakes I had to treat mites on back at the old trap, not in here, but I had to treat him for mites about a year and a half ago, because he kept having them to come back. But I could also tell you why I think that is too. But let's check out the male. We're gonna check out her baby daddy right now, which is the male Pop One Olive, and he's a pistol. He's a different story than she is. Firmed dickhead all the time. Okay, so I mean, he's literally jumped out before. But this is the male Pop One Olive. Yeah, he's he means business, man. Now, mind you, once he's out, he's a lot cooler. But in there ain't no messing around. Okay. Now, anyways, back to what we're talking about here. Again, we want to look at the scales, right? So let's paint the scenario right now. Let's say we're checking out this snake. Okay, you're doing your normal snake, your snake visits inside your room, checking everything out. And let's say, boom, oh my God, there's a scale that's raised. Is there a mite? And then you go ahead and inspect the snake. And when you inspect, you see that there are mites on the snake, okay? So let's say that were to happen right now. I'm gonna tell you first and foremost, get ready to do the process we're about to do right now outside to every single rack that you have, okay? If that snake has mites, if I were to come and see that this snake has mites, 9 out of 10, everything else has mites, at least in this rack, but more likely they floated to the other racks, okay? So what I'm saying right now, by minimum, if you were to find mites in a rack, you better do the whole rack, if not do the whole room. I suggest doing the whole room, but I understand how people are. So if you want to do the bare minimum, you got to do the whole rack, whatever rack systems that are next to that. Every step I'm about to show you is what needs to be done, okay? So here we go. Going back to a potential situation, and not the situation, but we're playing around right now, okay? So, boom! Holy shit, this snake has mites. What the So what you're gonna wanna do, first and foremost, you're gonna wanna get this snake out of the room, okay? Since this is a snake that you visually see mites on, okay? This is a snake you're gonna wanna go ahead and take care of first. Now, if you have multiple tubs, which I do recommend multiple tubs, that way you go ahead and cure everybody at once versus one by one by one. The game plan is get the mites killed as soon as possible, okay? And mites thrive off water. They thrive within the scales of the snake. So that's why it's super important to just get down to business and hurry up and do the process we're about to do right now, okay? So, boom, let's get the snake and let's remove them. Now, mind you, do this outside or don't. Do this outside or do this in a room that isn't in the room with your other snakes. You want to go ahead and do this treating process like in a quarantine room, 110%, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go outside. I would take my snakes outside and do all this. And since I'm in San Diego and we live in good weather and I have shade, I could even leave them outside and let them soak in the bins, okay? Because typically what I'm about to show you, I let them soak for at least 24 hours if they have mites. All right, so boom, pretend time. Let's pretend this is a snake. Oh my God, this snake has mites. And also, let me just say right now, we're pretending, before you even pick up that snake, before you even take that snake outside and put it in a tub, you gotta wear gloves, okay? Get gloves. I have gloves outside, which I'm about to show you. So pretend I have gloves on right now and pretend this is a snake. And we're gonna go outside and treat the snake. Now we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna show you what I would do for each and single one of those snakes that are in that rack. And every single one of the snakes that are in the other racks, okay? It's plain and simple. So, okay, scenario time. Here we go. My gloves on, and here's the snake. Let's take it outside, and let me show you what the setup looks like. All right, so first and foremost, we remove the snake with their gloves on, and then we go ahead and get the tub that the snake's in, and we sanitize it. This is also an important part, and make sure you put this far away from where you're curing the snake and whatnot. You don't want a tub that just had mites in it to be near any kind of snake. So make sure you have this put away, and I'm gonna show you what I use to clean this tub and what I do to wipe down the racks. Yeah, so we're doing this in the shade, guys, because like it is hot as balls right now, okay? But this is the layout. This is what I have. Everything I need right now. This is everything I need to go ahead and cure any snake I have of mites. Okay, so as you see here, this is the tub I'll be using. Obviously, depending on the size of the snake, you might need a bigger tub, you might need a smaller tub. Okay, so just, you know, guys have to be mindful of that, obviously, right? So this water is about less than halfway full. Okay, just shy of halfway full. Room temp, okay, is what I like to go with. And here are what I like to do as far as putting inside. Now, I have the items that I always have on deck to ensure I have what I need to infect any kind of mite situation, right? So first things first, what you're gonna need. Dawn Original Blue Soap, the blue kind. Don't get any of the funky green stuff or any of this like additional lavender. You have to just get regular blue Dawn soap, okay? Now, if you're wondering how much you need to put in, you don't need to put too much, okay? But we're gonna go ahead and just do this. So this is how much I like to put in, about that much, okay? And then I wish it around really good. Okay, make sure that's all diluted. All right, and then fake snake, obviously, because I don't got a snake with mites. Message! You're gonna want to put the snake in there. All right, so snake's in there. cover the lid. Like I said, depending on the snake, if I had a pop one olive in here, I would not just rely on these latches. I would have weight on top of here. So also be mindful what kind of snake you're putting in a tub, because snakes, if they want to get out, for the most part, they'll get out if you don't have any kind of weight on them. So just have that ready. So yeah, basically that's all you need to do. And then put the snake in there and let that chill for 24 hours. I like to do 24 hours. Some people like to do 8 hours. I like to do 24 hours. The following steps. Now, you have the snake in here. It's being treated with the Dawn soap. Now, what I like to do is I want to be very like heads up on this, okay? Like super warning, because this stuff is no joke. But you know, people use Preventative. There's other stuff people could use to go ahead and like wipe down a rack or whatever to prevent mites. This is something that I prefer, because not only does it prevent mites, but it actually just murks them all together. Okay, so this right here must be diluted. Okay, this only takes maybe like 2 ounces for a bottle like this big. Okay, and even with 2 ounces, you can see how white it turns. And you can even see how I have the label, the bottle label poison, you know, just because like you got to be mindful of this, okay? So what I do is I like to spray this really well on a rag. I'll spray it really good on a rag. And then I'll go ahead and go to the tub that the snake was in. So we'll pretend like the snake was in this tub. And then I'll wipe the rag with the tub really well. And I'll let it air dry, you know, preferably under UV. Nothing gets better sanitized. Nothing gets sanitized better than being under a UV light. So yeah, I would do that. And then what I would also do is grab this bottle, get the rag, and go to the rack and just wipe down the area where the snake was in. So that's protocol 1 after putting the snake inside the tub. Okay, now this is going to be controversial right now. A lot of people are not a fan of these, okay, because they read the label and they think there's like it's harmful. But mind you, I don't have this in my kitchen. I don't have this where my utensils are, and I don't just, you know, use this whole thing, okay? So be very mindful of this as well, okay? If you have snakes in your room, like in your actual personal area, I don't recommend it, because you don't want this in your personal area. Around snakes, it's gonna be fine, okay? Me personally just think this has no harm towards snakes whatsoever. And if you think that's not the case, well then prove me wrong. Okay, I've been using this for 6 years. I don't have any sick snakes. My snakes look better than yours, so shut up. So anyways, so yeah, okay, so after that rack was wiped down with this solution here, okay, that's very diluted and very, you know, ready to go. This opens up, and as you can see here, it's a big yellow piece. But what I do is I cut these pieces. I cut this whole piece into little squares. So even though this snake has not had mites in a full year, I don't like around. And to be quite fair, the one above it was the last snake I ever had to treat mites on 3 months before we moved from the old trap. So I always keep that yellow piece near anything that I feel like could potentially throw a curveball at me, okay? But yes, all you do is open up that package. You're gonna go ahead and cut it up in a little square, okay? Now, if the snake does have mites and you just get done treating it, after you put it back in the tub, you're gonna wanna put this in a deli cup and put it actually inside the tub, and then close it up. Now, mind you, what I like to do is I like to get a black deli cup. I'll put it over or secure it in a deli cup with little tiny holes in it, just to make sure the snake doesn't rub its mouth on it or anything. But that's what I do. Okay, I leave that in there for the time that I'm treating the snake. All right, but now I'm gonna put it back. So this is what you do: cut it in squares, and you leave that there. Okay. Now, to me, that's an important step. The reasons why I feel so confident that mites aren't coming back into my collection is because those right there do the job. Those things will just murder mites. Period. Okay. Second, I'm not adding any imports. I'm not adding anything from anyone's sketchy collection at all. If I do add anything from somebody, it's from like a Socrates or a Bill Stiegel or somebody legendary. Are you kidding me? I feel like no pest strip, you want to mark that as a crucial key of keeping mites out of your collection, at least for me, okay? This is just my own experience. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just letting you know these are my steps, and this is what I do to secure mite from getting even close to any snake in my collection. The next step, and this is where I learned on Brian Cusco's channel. After the snake does its soak and you put the snake back inside the tub, you cannot give it water for 3 days. It's gonna be fine. Your snake's gonna live, okay? No water for 3 days. Keep it dry for 3 days. After the 3rd day, give it water. You're golden, okay? You're golden. Now, mind you, you go to a pet store or a show where you can get mites, and then you bring it to your collection. Well, that's not gonna, that whole process you just did was for nothing, okay? Because it's that easy to give that snake mites. Again, if you keep bringing stuff in from other collections that aren't trustworthy or from shows, don't bring snakes into your collection without quarantine. You gotta have a quarantine room. It's another big thing. If you have quarantine, a lot of this stuff you don't have to deal with. As far as having to treat a whole collection goes, you'd only have to really worry about the quarantine snakes. That step, also, no water for 3 days. Super crucial, okay guys? And that's it. You put the snake back, give it water after 3 days, monitor it, and I'm telling you right now, man, you won't see a mite on that snake ever again. You won't. After a few months, if you see no mites or whatever, you don't need any no pest strips. You can just go and toss it out. Like I said, what I do, just because I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's curveball that these pop ones threw me a couple times, okay? So, and also the one above it, you don't want mites on a scrub, okay? Stephen Cush will back that one up as well. But the last scrub I got had mites, and so those two snakes right above each other were the last two snakes I had to cure over a year ago, and those are the ones where I feel like if there isn't any potential, it's gonna come from those two. But at this point, I think I'm good. So technically, I could throw that piece away, but peace of mind, I guess, okay? And it's not gonna kill me. It kill you. It's not gonna kill the snake, I'm telling you. So you see my traps a little bit more cluttered now? That's an incubator. I need an incubator for my tree monitors and for my chondros. And I happen to buy a freaking big tall ass one from KG and D over at Farm Project. Shout out to the fam. But anyways, yeah guys, literally those are the steps. And I've had to deal with mites more than a handful of times because of all the imports I dealt with, okay? So everything I'm telling you is based off my own experience. Experience is the best teacher. And if you are dealing with mites, I truly hope that these steps help you out. I hope, first and foremost, I don't want you to beat yourself up out there either. Everyone deals with mites at some point in this hobby. I don't care who you are. So just take a deep breath, follow the steps, and this too shall pass, okay? But guys, that's all we're gonna have on this episode of the Trap Vlogs. If you did enjoy this, drop a comment. Let me know if these steps are effective. Let me know if this did work for you, if it didn't. I want all that feedback, man. Drop it in the comment section. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll be on top of every single vlog I drop here on this channel. And if you're looking for exclusive content, if you want to really get your name out there better, okay, with some more official people who are really about the well-being of the animals, then do me a favor. Go down to the very first link you see in the description below. Click on it. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord. Tap you with over 170 trappers, man. Shout out to all my trappers, by the way, all my Patreon members. I love you guys. You guys are my heart. And shout out to you if you subscribe and listen to the Trap Talk Reptile podcast right here on YouTube and all the major audio platforms. Thank you so much for all the love and support, man. But that's all we have on this week, and I'll catch you guys here next week for another Trap Vlogs. And I'm out. Cheers! Thank you for watching this week's Trap Vlogs. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single vlog I drop here on this YouTube channel. If you're looking for exclusive content, please click the very first link you see in the description below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, which will tap you in with over 165 trappers. I'll catch you guys here next week for another Trap Vlogs, and I'm out. Cheers!